Let's try to do them all, maybe. I don't need that one. Okay. Aha. Sorry, guys. I did not know that the sound was off. You should hear me now. I feel like I should be doing an advertisement. Can you hear me now? Good. There we go. Sorry, guys. I had, it said my output sound was on, but my camera sound was not on. But now, you can, okay, now we can hear you. Thank you so much. My apologies. So you didn't even hear what we were talking about. We could have been talking about all kinds of crazy stuff. So basically, we were just mentioning that Miss LeRae here, Miss LeRae, has become a nail instructor. And we were saying that it's really gotten down to like 1 in 100 of techs that go do nail school that actually get out and stay in industry, I think. And I know I have another couple friends who are nail instructors, and I wonder if it's the same in their area as it is here.
Yeah.
So I just switched my bit. I was using the 459, and I really like to use that one when it's flat on the nail, but now I'm going to get underneath her cuticle here and lift up the cuticle, and it comes in and massages it real nice. Real nice. Yeah, my poor iPad, I had not videoed in so long that it was like I had to sign into everything again, and apparently it had turned the sound off. So let me know if you need me to turn the volume up or anything, because I can.
I can see the comments. What is going on?
You have to hold it, and then you have to touch it occasionally. No, you keep it like that. There's probably not that many comments on there yet. But they'll disappear because Facebook is stupid. And so you just randomly, if you don't catch it, every now and then I would just touch it, and they'll all of a sudden appear. I don't know why it does that. It's like probably the stupidest feature on Facebook.
Mine in there. I was like, I don't see anybody else.
Yeah, it's dumb. Okay. Where is everyone watching from today if you're hanging out with us? I know for East Coasters it's getting late. I'm not an early person. And obviously we're doing nails at 7 tonight, so it's not an early night here, but we are making it happen. Well, Jared will be happy to see you when he gets in.
Yay,
although I told him he needed to be quiet. Huh?
I was like, did he get a new hat? His favorite hat, his work hat.
Yeah, no.
No.
He very, you know, it's almost weird now when he wears a hat working, because he wears it so seldom.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Yeah, it's really been a while since I've been here. Huh?
Yeah, but I feel like half the time he'll wear a hat, and then it's like, he'll wear a hat for like a week, and it's like, oh, he's in the mood for a hat, you know. But it's like hit and miss for sure. Hi, Mindy from Ohio. Nice to see you. I'm not going to go crazy on her cuticles because I'm going to have a lot of filing to do. And so I'm really going to actually mess with the cuticles more at the end of the service, because I don't want to, when I'm filing her nails a ton, bump into them and create bleeding cuticles, because I hate that. But I definitely will at the end. Because I'm not a big fan of the leftover cuticle. So this is for all those who live in states where you're not allowed to take off cuticle. I'm very sorry. When I came back from camp, my pack of files had some gel that dripped on it. So every now and then I keep finding a file that has like gel on it, and I'm like, I grabbed one day and I'm like, what is this stickiness? Why on my file? I don't understand. So always take off the edges of your file. You want to make sure that when you run your fingers on it, that there's nothing sharp and you're not going to give yourself a paper cut. Very important. Hello. Okay, I'm going to go back to this one. So now that I've done her cuticle work, I'm just going to give her nails one more push and a little massage to make sure that those cuticles are really good and far up there. That's going to help give her longevity in how her nails are growing out. And I'm just checking very lightly with my buffer to make sure the surface is exactly how I want it. And I'm going to take any free edge off that I would like to take off. I usually only keep a little bit there, if anything, because I'm going to be fitting forms. So definitely don't want to have a lot. A lot. So tell me about the schools these days.
Well, this one's pretty, I don't know, it's pretty
This is a
different
Paul
from-
Mitchell, right?
Yeah, I was at Evergreen before, and like the differences are the 4-month program instead of a 6-month.
So they're there a lot longer.
Yeah, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. Well, not 8 hours a day, on Monday. So total they get 36 hours, and they can make up time on Mondays after 12 o'clock for about 4 hours. So that's pretty cool that they have the opportunity to do that. Yeah,
Get it done faster.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why it's a 4-month program. But I just realized, like, their attendance is horrible, which it kind of makes me sad.
It's like, how long do they want? I mean, I guess if they have a completely other job,
And most of them don't, really.
then it's like,
Yeah.
why aren't you in school?
And then, like, they've been there for 2 months. And I'm like, it feels like you just got here yesterday, you know? And
Do they get that you actually have to have all the hours to graduate?
yeah.
It's not like going to high school. Like, you can miss all the days you want in high school for the most part, and you
Right.
still get to finish.
No.
Yeah, it doesn't really work like that
Not
in
at
the real
all.
world.
I was like, I get that, you know, they have a hard time understanding that. And then, of course, with when financial aid plays a factor into it, if they stay over their time, then they can possibly lose their financial aid. And I'm like, you guys need to show up.
Is there financial aid? Does it cover them for the whole program? But if it runs out, like if they don't finish the program in their set time, then they have to pay for a new round of the program, or just however many hours they have left, or
So I guess essentially, some of them it does cover the whole program. Some of them it might not. I know the last time I received financial aid, it didn't cover the whole program. So maybe every month I had to just pay like $100 out of pocket, which wasn't bad. But in this case, if they're fully covered and their attendance is bad, then they're jeopardizing that anyways. And then if they end up needing to make up time past their original scheduled date to be completely out of the program, and that includes like if you're sick, so they give you a few sick days and stuff in there. But if they go past that time, then they have to pay out of pocket, and they risk losing their financial aid for sure. So I've been telling them that, and it seems to have lit a fire under a few of them, but not all of them.
they don't all get it.
Not all of them. And the big difference with this school, they can come in whatever time they want to come in. They can leave whenever they want to leave.
Don't you have like set lessons or anything like that?
Yeah.
Or you just, so they can show up, but you may or may not have classes for them to attend?
Right. So, but Mondays are theory day, so, and then Tuesday through Friday, they're on the floor, so on the salon floor for the most part. And then, so that's like phase 2. And then in phase 1, which is only about 2 to 3 weeks, that's just, straight evaluation, so they're learning everything.
Right.
So they're told not to miss a day in that portion, but it seems like as soon as they hit the floor, they start to slack off, and I'm like, oh my god.
Joy.
Yeah.
Well, hey, Rachelsa. I'm probably butchering your name. Looks like Rachel with an S-A. Is it Rachelsa? Curious. How do I say your name? Did I do it wrong? And we have Francesca, first live ever. Is this Francesca from Italy? Like my friend Francesca? She came for camp.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
She's got a YouTube, she did a nail competition. In Italy, they did a nail competition TV show recently.
Oh.
And she did it, and cat out of the bag, she won. But I want to watch it, and she's posting like the videos, but I haven't tried and see if there's a way to watch it on YouTube where it automatically will do like English subtitles.
Oh, wow. That's
I'd really like
cool.
to watch it though.
Congratulations.
It's copper dust season. So try it. Rach Elsa. but my name is Rachel. Ah, okay. Got it. I mean, I had never seen the name Rachel, so that works. All right, so when you finish prepping, you want to make sure that you use your prep and wipe and scrub the nail plate. Don't rub your wipe like this. You don't want to pull oils off from her finger onto your nail plate. So you want to just give it a good massage right in the middle of the nail, right straight down. I'm trying to make sure that I'm keeping in camera. Let me know if I get out of it somewhere. But, oh, did I move that the wrong direction? Yep, I did. I was trying to go the other direction. Okay. All right. So, prep work is done. Now, my prep and wipe is mixed, like about 75% prep and wipe and 25% acetone. A couple reasons for that. I like the dehydration that acetone does, and also if I do any stamping, it cleans off around the nail really well. So I am going to do forms now with the lovely Olena forms. They are, did I not have it?
No.
It's been a long time.
It's been a while.
So these are from Olena Osman. She is the distributor and educator of Akzentz in Germany, and also like world champion multiple times over.
Oh, cool.
So she designed these forms, and they are pretty spectacular. But you do need to make sure that you do it. Did I cut my hair? It looks good. Thank you. I did. Yes, I cut my hair. I know. It was time. Like, I lost a bunch of weight. My hair all fell off. It's what happens when you lose weight. And so I just needed to, like, chop it all off.
And you lost it, and I picked it back up. You know what?
Well, when you lost weight, it was so fast.
It was.
It was like you blinked and suddenly you were bitsy.
And then I purposely, I was trying to gain some weight back, right? And then it kind of exploded on me, overnight. And I was like, okay, you ate too much.
I have definitely found that for me, it is so not calories in, calories out.
Yeah.
Like the other day, I was super snacky, but I had just taken my meds, and I think I had 2 full-size candy bars and all. I mean, I was super snacky.
Yeah.
And the next day, I'm like, I'm so going to be up. And I was down a pound because my meds were actually in my system. And so I was losing the weight that I'd gained when I'd let them kind of wear off. I have to keep them up or it's no good. So she likes to keep hers square. You're still square, right?
Yeah, a little tapered.
A little tapered.
Well, with the pinchers.
You want them pinched?
Normally you pinch them.
She wants them real tapered. That's more tapered than usual for you.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. That's okay.
Oh no, you don't have to then. I just don't like them square because my long fingers.
So, to not make them square, give the end of your forms a little bit of a massage so that they can come in and create a nice taper. Something like that. Not from Italy. I wish I was that cool. Francesca. You have Francesca's name. So, therefore, you are inherently cool. Francesca's the sweetest. When you talk to her, though, you have to, remember that she does not speak English well. And so, she's so cute. She'll, listen and then be like, slower. And I'm like, sorry. She's so sweet. She came and taught classes at camp. Again, she actually did both cruises last year, and then this was her first, real camp. So.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Camp is so fun.
It is so fun.
That's what I told my students. I'm like, if you don't do anything in life, you need to go to nail camp. I was like, that was the best experience ever.
So I'm looking down the barrel. I put this on just a tinge crooked, which is fine as long as when I look down the barrel, my pinch is perfect. Oh my gosh. I think I actually have a trick-or-treaters. Hold on 1 second. That's hilarious. This is the first trick-or-treaters. Hi, guys. Hi. Do you want to pick what you want? You're very cute. There you go. Happy Halloween. Bye-bye. Thank you.
And it's pouring down rain outside.
It's a little, I think it was Alice in Wonderland and maybe a black cat. I got lots of black cats.
That's so funny. You do.
They're so cute.
I saw them.
Aren't they so
The
cute?
little bed that you guys made for them. That was so cute.
Oh, the little house?
Mm-hmm.
I know, he's so cute. Ah, Rachel says, how's your back? Well, it still sucks. I still have to take stuff. So when you look at a form and you see gaps here on the side, you know that you need to cut some off. So if you're wondering, how do I know what I need to do, is you need to look at this, and if you have gaps, you need to cut. And then it's finding just the right amount. I kind of gauge it. That way when you slide your form, aha, no more gap. And these ones are really good and sticky. And I try to center it this way. They're amazing forms.
You definitely feel the difference.
Yeah, they're nice. They stay tight. Yeah, these are amazing. Hi, Marlene from Canada. Hi, Gigi from LA. Aw, she was wondering a few days ago when I would do a live. I'm back. Let's hope that's not more trick-or-treaters. They're interrupting us. Nope, it's the boys.
It's the main trick-or-treater.
It's the main trick-or-treater.
Hello.
Are you going to say trick-or-treat when you come in the door?
Oh, there's some behind him.
Oh, they saw him go in. All right.
Oh,
So you want to make sure that your forms are fitting all the way up to the sidewalls, and then lift and close as you go. And that way you can create a nice, tight fitting form. But yeah, these are so good and sticky. They really stay super, super, super nice. So Gigi, this is the first live I've done in many months. So I haven't done a full set in a long time. And since I saw the rayon...
Really? Nobody gets full sets like that?
No.
Wow.
I mean, once you have a regular client, they don't need to come in for a full set. And that is a misconception. You know, people that have done acrylic for a long time, they think, oh, how often do I have to get a full set? With gel, you really don't. The product doesn't age like acrylic ages. Mm-hmm. So there's no full sets that you need to like constantly be getting. So once people have nails on, they're good to go, and they just keep them up, you know. So I don't do a lot of full sets. And a lot of times when people find me, like Shayla actually just told someone about me when she was in Chelan. Mm-hmm. She already had nails on.
Okay.
So most of the time I'm working with what they already have, as long as it's gel.
Right.
And I will question them. I'm like, did they use any powder of any kind?
Right.
And if they did, you must take it off before you come see me. I don't mess with that. I don't have time for that. I don't like to take stuff off like that. I don't like to soak it off.
Yeah.
It's no fun. Not a fan. So this one goes good, both sides. Give them a little pinch.
Pinch and lift.
Lift. Yes. I taught her so well. I was just talking to Ugly Duckling today about my new classroom, and once the house is built, we'll have a classroom in there and can go back to doing classes like in person more often. Ah, Francesca. After about a year of consistency wearing almond-shaped Trinity, some of my nails seem to have buckle or warp where it disconnects from the finger. I think I would need to see a picture of what you're talking about. I don't really, I don't know what that means, buckle or warp. So text me. You can Facebook message me. If you have Facebook, if you don't, I will send me a message here on YouTube. Because I don't know what you mean. Buckle or warp. But that's usually not... Sometimes the natural nail will start making a weird shape. Hers hooks, like, super bad.
Yeah.
So every now and then, I think your pointer finger is the one. And we'll have to just take it off and make a new one. Because it's unfixable. It will literally, like,
It just
grows straight down. So we'll have to just take it off and
maybe that's why you
sculpt
get full
it.
sets every so often.
Yes,
Yeah.
you get full sets because yours hook.
Yeah.
So you're a special case. And you wear them so long that the hook is noticeable. Most people don't wear them that long, so the hook is not noticeable for them. But otherwise,
People are like, can I get tips like your nails? And I'm like, wow, I wish this was a tip. My nail just naturally.
they wanted a hook tip.
Yeah,
Oh my
like
gosh.
the old school, like where they, you know, curl. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
That's not
you
on
guys
purpose, but
know.
thanks.
Yeah, thanks.
Ooh, that's some stinky boys. Alright, they're still not quite perfect there. Need a smidge more. But these forms, you can get them on my site. I started importing them because I tried them out at an Akzentz training that I was at, and I fell in love with them.
Yeah.
Along with the gel that I'm going to be using on her today. It is an Akzentz gel that they reformulated from when it first came out. Because when it first came out, it sucked.
Okay.
And I didn't know that they reformulated it. They kept that secret.
Oh, wow.
Like, tell people.
Yeah. I wonder which one I have.
You would know. Once I show you, the first one was so thick. It was really, really hard to move. And you couldn't smooth it out. And it was just awful. And I was like, I'm never using this again. And I didn't. Yeah. And then I went to Elena's class. And she's putting this on. And it's all buttery and perfect. I'm like, what are you using? She's like, oh, Balance Foundation Blush. I'm like, no, you're not. Yeah. Because it does not work like that. She goes, oh, they fixed it. I'm like, okay, tell a person.
No, of course not.
They keep secrets. And I'm like, I mean, I guess they don't want to like bring to their attention that this has changed, but it's improved so much. Okay, so make it better. Tell people. Tell people that it's so awesome. So that's what I'm going to be using to build her structure. But this is like a very multi-step process because we're doing the red underneath. A lot of people wonder how it's done. And I'm sure, I know there's a video somewhere that we did, I don't know, probably at least 5 years ago of the same technique, but probably with different gel to build with. So same technique, but now we're using the gels that I use now to do this.
Yeah, probably balance and sculpture.
Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead first with my X-Bond. So this is Akzentz, let's see if I can get that actually in camera. They're kind of universal bonding gel. You can use it underneath just gel polish. It's possibly used underneath acrylic, but I can't tell you if that's true because I don't do acrylic, but it's technically a universal bonding gel. And pretty easy to put on. Now, when I just do a Trinity fill with Trinity Clear, I don't use this, but I'm going to be using Trinity Colors on her, and I do use it when I do Trinity Colors because there's just not as good of a bond with the Trinity Colors. Even though they technically are a 3-in-1, I don't feel like the bond is as good. And so I definitely do bonding gel underneath the Trinity Colors to make sure that they bond. And also because I'm using Balance Foundation Blush and there is no bonding gel in it. So, but that's a few steps away. You can cure. Let's see. It's like the nail has a major bend towards the palm, but it's only on one side. It makes them lopsided. I never noticed before. I had to remove all the nails for surgery. So that is going to be from injury or genetic, just the way your nails are growing. It's going to have nothing to do with your product. Your product is going to be your best way to kind of fix that. But you'll probably have to shorten it now and then and put the product on. I mean, if you're noticing it when you removed your nails, it's because your nails have been doing a good job keeping it straight for you. Your gel or your acrylic has been doing a good job keeping them shaped how you want them to be. But you definitely aren't going to see a major change in how your nail grows because you're wearing product. That's more so going to be correcting the way it grows by using product. Does that make sense? All right. So first, I'm going to use a little smidge of Trinity Clear. We're going to make what my friend Madeline likes to call a skeleton, or a skeleton is the correct wording. I'm just going to, this is my one that I used. I'm going to get another one. Just one that's just a little bit damp for wiping my brush on. I'm just going to create a thin layer of hard gel all the way down the length that I'm going to create her extension. I'm guessing like around the 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Somebody knows you know. Oh, you don't want me to sing. Trust me, it would not be pretty. But 5 points if you know who that was. You're not going to know.
I'm not going to know.
But someone out there might know.
My thing is so slow. I don't see.
So are you getting any questions? You
no,
just read them.
Slow. It's behind.
It's behind? How far?
Yeah, a lot.
Well, they're all going to be delayed a little bit because there's a lag. So that's not unusual. Even on YouTube, I'm on like the pinky. So there's like a 10-second lag.
The last thing I can see, it says, "Can we see you cut the farm?" from Dana.
Oh, you should have told me that.
Oh.
Nope. Yeah, you got to read the questions so that I can do stuff. Hopefully you saw that. Sorry, I didn't know. I'm not in charge of reading the Facebook questions.
I literally don't see any.
At least it's not disappearing anymore.
No, but I wrote "Hi guys" a long time ago, and then there's only 4 comments after that.
That's okay. There might not be a lot of comments.
Okay.
If you're on YouTube, say something so we know that it's not broken. But
And there's a question: do you have patina on? Love it.
patina, I do. I actually am sporting almost all of the casino collection. They're grown out because I did them for camp. So these are quite grown out, but oh my gosh, they look terrible. I should have like at least oiled my poor nails before I came on here. I have most of the casino collection on because I really like the colors. The only one I'm not wearing is Grace, I believe. But I actually did Grace on a client today. So if you have not got the casino collection yet, it is really, really good for fall. These colors have been very popular. And that is good. Which brush am I using? Thanks, Gigi, for the question. I'm using an Ugly Duckling number 8 brush. I adore Ugly Duckling brushes. They are amazing. And this one has it's really good for sculpting. So I don't really use it for my fills because if you watched any of my videos on a 3D manicure, I do that with a Akzentz flat brush. But for moving gel around and sculpting, this brush is incredible. So, all right, these are all actually going out to like the 4, but that's probably more correct anyway. All right, so after I have a nice thin layer on all of these, I'm just going to put them in the light. Well, I'm not going to put them in the light. She's going to put them in the light. Hi, Mindy. Yes, I see you on YouTube. Thank you. I'm trying to keep track with everybody at once. It was funny today. Someone's like, was saying, oh, I think it was Lexi. We were talking about how, you know, like sometimes people talk every day and like sometimes they don't when they're out of town. And she's like, I said, yeah, I mean, I don't always talk with Jared like every day when I'm out of town, but usually a little text or something. Mm-hmm. Just depends on how busy we both are. She's like, just send him a TikTok. Then you'll know he's going to go. That's Jared's guilty pleasure.
Oh, TikTok. I don't even have a TikTok yet. That's funny.
I get on it occasionally, but like if he has a couple hours to kill, 100% he's going to chill on TikTok.
Oh, that's funny.
And he'll like find funny stuff and send it to people, and it's hilarious. Make sure that that's down. So I did not have to, and I didn't expect I needed to because she has very skinny little fingers. So I did not have to make teddy bears. So that's a sculpting and form technique for another day, another class.
I never heard of it.
I know.
Oh.
Well, see, you don't need it because you have these lovely fingers and your form attaches and they don't create a bump around the sides of the form. Like your form can just go straight down.
Okay.
With people who have the skin that kind of sticks up, you gotta work around that skin, and so you cut that to create teddy bear. It also creates a bit more of a tunnel.
Okay.
For your form, which is really nice. But for salon extensions, I don't focus too much on creating a sharp tunnel because it's not necessary. But if you're doing like stilettos or competition nails or a very different kind of nail, you might want to cut out and create your tunnel that can tuck almost underneath the nail. It's a different way of applying the form. So my floating head gets in the way sometimes, and I have to like try to pay attention to where I'm working. Or my floating head blocks it. But someone said they like to see the floating head, so then they know I'm real. I'm a real boy. So I'm just making sure I've got enough product to create my skillet, which is basically just a thin layer of gel. And this is because we are going to follow it up with red. Are we going to follow it up with red first? Do you have to pinch after curing? If I was going to pinch, you would set it for 3 to 5 seconds and then pinch. If I go to pinch it now, it usually is going to try to bounce back a little bit. This is a thin enough skillet that you can pinch it and it might stay, but for the most part, this has already started curing. If you're going to pinch, then yeah, you want to get it set for maybe 5 seconds and then do it. Hi. Oh, he's watching. Sorry. Okay, so you want to we're going to be doing her Louis Vuitton set, which means we are going to do red underneath. So this is a specialty add-on. She came in saying, oh, I want it, and I know she wants it because she's been doing it for a decade. Fuller. So the trick of this is that if you do your red right on top of your form and then you cover it with any other product, your red is usually going to, well, you do your red and then you cover it with just your product without any white, your red is not going to stay as bright. So we're going to do red, but then we're going to follow it with a coat of white. That is our trick. Now, what we could do, because we're going to be doing French, nope, we can't do it that way. Scratch that thought. Because we're doing a deep French. So it's not like I can put the white on where the deep French is going to be, because I'm going to put the white from her nail bed all the way down so that when you look at it from underneath, it's nice and bright white. But then I'm covering it with a coverage pink gel to create the nail, and then we're going to paint on her French. Did everyone get all that?
Did you catch that?
Catch all that? I missed what you were using on this layer. That layer, I just did a thin coat of Trinity Clear, and now I'm going to just do her red. And it doesn't have to be thick. It doesn't even have to be opaque, because what did I just say? The white's going to be on top of it, and that's going to make your red pop. So you want to keep it thin because your polishes are not your strength, and you don't want to build too much with it. Once I cover that with white, you're going to look underneath and it's going to look like a nice bright red. So that's going to be no problem. And it doesn't need to be perfect. I'll probably go in and ombre it up just a bit because I don't want to have a stark line that has a possibility of showing through. Because I'm finicky. I don't like the sharp lines. It annoys me a little bit. So if you want to do something like this in your salon, you just need to figure out how much time it adds to your service so that you know, okay, my services, if they are 2 hours, to do a full set, then this is my 2-hour full set price. If it's 2.5 hours to do a full set, this is my 2.5-hour full set price. And then it's just kind of whatever it's happening on that. What kind of design are they getting? What are the length they're getting? So when you're pricing, some people don't know how to price. And I say the first thing is to figure out what you need to be charging hourly, and then how long that service is going to take, so that you take care of the amount of time that you're taking. Because in the end, time is money. That's the problem. A lot of people don't gauge. They're like, oh, I do this nail art for this, and I do this for that. And it's like, okay, well, that nail art takes you 3 hours. The other nail art takes you 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. So in the end, are you hating your job at the end of it because you've just done something that took 3 hours, but you got paid for 5 minutes of time? So you really have to pay attention to how much time things take. So again, this is tantalizing. Luxio, it's like my favorite red. If you don't have this red, you should. It's important red. All right, and I'm going to just take my little ombre brush. This is my Ugly Duckling ombre brush. So it's kind of an ombre brush that doesn't have a ton of hairs out of it. And if you find that you need more hairs out of it, you can just cut some out. You know, don't be afraid. These brushes are not so expensive that you won't be able to use it if you cut too much out. But you can always go in and cut a hair here and there if you want to make it more sporadic, and then just wipe it out. But anyway, I'm just going to dab this on the nail bed just to eliminate the sharp line, because it's harder to cover up a sharp line than it is to cover up something that's ombre'd. So I'm literally just touching it on the very, very end. Is there any comments on YouTube or Facebook that we need to watch for?
Nope.
Questions? Nothing?
Nope.
The Facebook group is quiet. Actually, everybody's quiet. Is it brighter than Runway? I would say yes. I think Runway is a little bit more orange, whereas this is more blue. So they're different in that sense that they have a different color profile. All right, in you go, please. So I'm going to go way up here because that's where it's actually going to be growing or filed from. I have a sneeze coming. I hate when I have a sneeze coming. Excuse me. I don't have a super cute sneeze. My daughter has a super cute sneeze. Jessica White has a really cute sneeze. I remember when she would sneeze in the salon and everyone would giggle. Because it's so cute. I don't. Jared has a sneeze that will move mountains. I don't know how he doesn't like break a rib when he sneezes sometimes. I don't know what it is with boys, but man alive.
It's so dramatic sometimes.
Is that everybody's husband out there? Like the sneeze that can, I feel like he breaks something. Yeah. Like something in me would break if I sneezed that hard. It's not good. So if you have someone that prefers more of a orange red, you definitely can do Runway, but this one's a good blue red. Whereas Runway is a little bit more of an orange red, I think. See, now you have me questioning my knowledge.
Connie White says, hi, Jen.
Well, hey, Connie.
And Patty said, so dang talented, XO.
I don't know about all that, but thank you. You haven't seen anything yet. We're just schlepping on some red right now.
And
schlepping.
Jay Arthur said, hi, Jay.
Hey, Jay.
And Akari Peraza.
Oh, Akari.
Hi.
Hi, Akari. How's my puppy? I want to see the puppy. I need more puppy pictures in my life. Please, I request. I do. It's my cousin Mark's girlfriend, and they got a golden puppy, and it's the cutest. I'm so jealous. I'm like, is it bad that I looked at flights within 5 minutes of her sending the first picture?
I am, yeah.
I was like, I'm ready to go see the puppy right now. Because they grow so fast, and now it's been like, I don't know, a month or two, and so now they're like double the size. It makes me sad.
That is true.
I should have just got a ticket, whether they wanted me there or not. I should have just got it and showed up. Francesca says, my husband blows his nose first thing in the morning, and it sounds like a train whistle or a fairy horn.
When you brush their teeth, it's the worst, too.
Okay, so Jared, can't wait for telling you all this. So Jared, when he brushes his teeth, he puts the water in his mouth when he's bursting, and then he does a shake like a dog.
Like a dog.
And if we're brushing our teeth next to each other, and I just look at him, and he'll like, I caught him the other day going like out of the bathroom so that he could do that without me looking at him laughing.
He's like, she's caught on.
It's priceless. It's so funny. It's fantastic fun. All right, so now I'm going to cover this with the white, and that's going to allow our red to be nice and bright. And I will show you actually, because I think I can pop. I'm always nervous to pop the forms off when I've only done the very, very thin.
Early?
I know. It makes me nervous to pop the form off when there's just not a lot of gel. Yeah, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm worried I'm going to tear my tip, so I'm not. It makes me turn nervous. But as soon as I get the forms off, I will show you underneath to show you the awesomeness that is the red underneath. And so this is Polar, Luxio Polar. It is a fantastic white. It's extremely bright, but it cures beautifully because I often see I'm going to have to make sure I push that when I a little bit of product right here that I don't I just see somewhere that could crack, you know. I watch for that stuff. Make sure that's not going to happen. Anyway, when I do a French, I always use Polar. Unless they, for some reason, want a more neutral or natural colored white, then I'll do a different color. But most of the time, it's always going to be Polar. And I can do the French tip in one step of white, and I never, ever, ever have a problem with it not curing. So that's never an issue. So again, I'm just going to come up here, and I'm just going to blend this out because it's easier for our coverage pinks to cover up an ombre than it is to cover up a straight line. So it's just a quick step, but I promise you it makes it so that when you are doing your nail bed portion, it looks better.
I have a question.
Yes?
Gina asked, can you advise how to tell the client how to hold their hand in the light with the forms? I tell them to just go in straight, but they either press them against the bottom, making them point up, or they hold their hand angled up and don't get in the right spot to cure.
That sounds very problematic.
Yeah, it does.
It would be kind of hard to angle them up in the light, or you're going to hit the light. But you definitely, I think having the right form is helpful. With these forms, they're pretty sturdy, and when you put them in, just keeping them flat on the lamp, they're naturally going to be straight. It's almost going to be too hard to flip them up, or you're going to hit the top of the lamp, and you can't push them down because if you push them down, they're just straight. So I think it really depends maybe on the forms. If they're too flimsy, that might be part of the problem.
Maybe, this is the length of the form I'm using. And in her light, I probably still have about 1.5 inches of space until I hit the top of the lamp. But I'm just pretty careful in general because I don't want to be, not that she yells at me, but.
I knew she was going to say that. They still come back, but apparently I scold. I don't know.
It's a good scolding. I mean, you learn the first time, right? So that's kind of what you want. So maybe you need to yell at them just a little bit. Put a little fear in them.
Yeah, maybe you just have to be mean.
Like kids.
Like, Well, it's part scolding and part the look.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The look really counts. I was like, you know what? I never want to see that again. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to give them the look like, did you just mess up all the work I just did?
Yeah, she's definitely done that. So,
you know, if you're a mom, you should have that look down, you know, and then you just give it to them. And I know KT has the look. She gives that look all the time. But I don't know if KT's probably not watching. She does acrylic.
I'd definitely probably say a sturdier form would help.
Yeah, maybe it's your forms you're using. I'm not sure what forms you're using. But if they were using these forms and they're angling them up, I would ask them, just place your hand in the light and let the forms touch the bottom of the lamp. Gently. Just let the form, just rest your hand in the lamp. Just rest your hand in the lamp is all I would have to say. And then they can't really mess it up. Can mess up this though if you touch your hand on it. So again, I'm just blending the white just so that there's not a straight line. I'm going to be putting quite a bit of product in this area because of this being my stress area. But I don't want to have a straight line there because I don't want anything that has a chance to see through the nail, because it's not, the camouflage I use is not 100% opaque. So you want to make sure that you don't have some super stark line on your nail plate, because I'm going to be creating her extension. Carrie, hello darling. All right, so as we were saying, extension time. So now I'm going to be using this lovely gel. This is Balance Foundation Blush. This is my favorite. We actually do have like 3 colors. There's pink, nude, and blush. I've never used the pink or the nude, too pink, too nude. This one's right in the middle, and it's like the perfect color for everybody. I've yet to find someone where I'm like, ooh, this isn't the right color, and gone to get one of the other ones, which I have access to, but I do. I used gelish forms, and they were super flimsy. So yeah, get better forms, hun, because forms are everything. And the Akzentz forms, which I designed like 15 years ago, oh, maybe longer. Yeah, they're great for like a quick corner repair on a nail, but for doing a long extension like this, you need better forms. So definitely get some better forms and it will change your life. Jody, must have figured out some good internet because not one glitch in the video looks great. Woo woo! So the glitch was my iPad. Who knew that I couldn't use an old iPad to create videos? Dumb, right? All right, so I'm going to scoop a good amount of gel and I'm going to roll it off in the middle of the nail. I'm going to push up just towards the middle and just over from one side to the other. I'm keeping most of the gel right here in the center. And now I can gently float it down the nail. I don't want to lose my shape of my arch here. And it seemed like I had a lot on my nail, but now I'm running out. So with nails this long, it's hard to get enough to do the whole nail. So I'm just going to get the next bit and go side to side. And then I tend to turn my brush sideways and wiggle back and forth. For some reason, since I started doing nails a million years ago, this is a really good way for me to move the gel around and be a little bit more specific on where I'm touching the nail when I do it, because it's just the point of that product. Now this is not going to move. As you can tell, this is a non-self-leveling gel, but it's not super stiff like structure. It moves like butter. So I'm going to roll off that big blob. Just going to push a little bit right towards the cuticle and a little bit towards the side. Keep my blob in the middle of the nail. A little towards the side, and then I'm going to float it down. We're not building the entire nail with one step, so don't worry about, oh, is it, you know, good enough? Is it enough product? Is it smooth enough? Because there's going to be more layers. Especially for a nail this long, trying to do it in one step, especially with a camouflage gel, is like a recipe for disaster. So I
Sheena said she's going to switch to different forms and try to find one that works. But they probably aren't sturdy enough, the ones that she's using. Yep. Switch your forms.
Switch your forms. Like I said, I sell these ones from Elena on my website. No one else in the country sells them. So if you want them and you live in the United States, or I think even Canada, I think I'm the only one that sells them in the US or in Canada. I import them. So if you want to try them, you must get them from me. And I do ship to Canada. So.
Yeah, these are really good. I'm going to get some myself. And Charlene says, hi, Jess. Happy Halloween.
Hi, Charlene, darling. She's so sweet.
And then Tammy said, maybe you said, but I just popped on, why the red under the white?
So the red under the white is because Miss Lorraine likes a Louis Vuitton nail. So this is going to give her, you know, just like the red shoes, which I don't got none of those.
They hurt your feet.
Yeah.
Real bad.
You're like, I'd rather have the red nails.
Yeah, they're not worth it.
Yeah, I've never worn them. But I don't wear heels at all. I don't think my feet are.
Even the tennis shoe ones for the guys hurt.
Oh.
I'm like, they're so flat.
Oh.
There's nothing in there. No art, no nothing.
Oh, are you supposed to like get your own inserts to make up for their lack of support?
But for as much as they cost, you would think it came in there.
Should have customized inserts made of gold.
Absolutely.
Do you like dual forms for extensions? I have only used them once on myself to test them out. If I did, I'd probably be using it right now if I used them on a regular basis. It might be way easier for sure than what I'm doing. But I haven't played with it enough to perfect the technique with dual forms. But I know that like we have some now from Ugly Duckling. They started carrying dual forms, and so we have them in the shop. And I do plan to mess with it a little bit more because I think that that's great for people that don't like to push gel around the way I'm doing right now. You just slop it in there. If you don't know what a dual form is, you slop your product into basically a plastic tip that's very shiny, so your gel is not going to stick to it. And then using a cure lamp, which I have some from Le Chat. I have the lamp I carry is from Koopa, the Duo lamp. So it's a tabletop lamp. It's this one. Hello. It's this lamp, and it's not plugged in right now. But if I was doing dual forms, as soon as I go under the lamp, it has a sensor, and it will immediately turn on. So that's super handy. So I did it on myself to test it out, and it works. But I wanted to show people how to sculpt, because here's the thing. This is a dying art, and I feel like it's something that it's hard to find people that teach it. Do you teach it, Lorraine? How to sculpt gel in your salon?
Actually, I do.
Good girl.
Yeah.
It's a good teacher right here.
They bring me in just for that.
Yeah. So, Sammy said the red scuffs up so easily and gets ruined. Oh, I'm guessing that the red on a shoe, a Louis Vuitton shoe.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't know.
It does.
I would not know.
It's just not worth it. Got rid of all of mine. They hurt your feet.
Every now and then I'll like try a pair of heels because I love how they look. Mm. And I'll be like, okay, if I can wear these for like half an hour, I'll walk around, I'll pick orders, I'll do stuff. And then if I can handle it, then I'll be good to go. Yeah. I never get past like 20 minutes. Yeah. I can't do it. My feet are not made for such things. And it's sad because they're pretty.
They're pretty.
But I can't do it. So I did do her, the 4 fingers, and I'll do her thumb separate because I don't want gravity to move the other nails while I'm working on her thumb. And it would. And so I'll just do this hand at 4 fingers, and then I'll do her other thumb. So she's in the light. She's been well trained. She understands how gel works. So if she starts to feel warm at all, she just comes out. But this is actually surprisingly not a super hot gel for as thick as you're able to put it on.
Yeah. It did warm up pretty good, but not enough for me to take it out and have to put it back in.
Yeah, so that's not bad at all if you're not like, I must take it out. So yeah, I feel like this gel actually is pretty good as far as heat. Plus, we did already put a layer of Trinity on, which does help separate a little bit, and I feel like it helps with the heat factor a smidge. So I'm just pushing again this up towards the cuticle a little bit. I almost make like a little triangle. The reason for this is because I want to keep a ball of gel right here in the middle of the nail. This is your stress area. And then I slowly start to taper this down. Taper. Blush is so beautiful. I agree. It is so pretty. This is such a great color. But yeah, this is the gel when Elena got it out and she's doing this. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what gel are you using? I've never seen this before. And she told me, and I said, no, that's not, no. One of these days I'm going to find the original formula and I'm going to show y'all what we had to try to work with for a hot minute. And I was like, this is never going to work. No one's going to use this. It's too difficult. And it didn't cure very well. Like, it was too solid. And so you had to almost like brush it on thin to get the camouflaging from it. It was awful. So I'm glad they changed it, but I totally would have liked to know about it. Because I went, I don't know, probably at least 5 years not knowing that this even existed.
Yeah, I remember when you first got it.
Did anyone have any cute people show up at their front door today for their Halloween? So what do we get? We got one Halloween visitor. It's now 8 o'clock. I'm pretty sure that's it. Don't worry, I didn't like go buy a whole bunch of candy just for our 2 little Halloween kids. I always have candy in the salon for my clients. So, and me. I like candy. And me. Someone did a, what do you reach for if these are what's offered to you? And I said Snickers because that is like my favorite.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
But it's almost a three-way tie because I also like a good Kit Kat and Twix.
Oh yeah, I had a Twix moment. It's like every day I had to have one. And I never ate chocolate like that, but it was so good.
Will I finish the cuticle with Trinity? I do have Trinity SN1 out, which is pretty darn close to the same color. And I will do a coat of Trinity at the end. Sometimes I will fill in the cuticle area with Trinity. But in this instance, I'm going to go ahead and fill it in with blush. Only because we're going to be keeping the blush because we're doing a French. So I want to make sure that the color is consistent. I'm still probably going to do one coat of like regular blush, like Luxio blush. But I don't want any color difference. If this was a client who I knew we were going to be covering up their nail with a color completely, it wouldn't matter. So yes, I would just do the back end with Trinity, coat it over the front, call it a day. But because we are going to be keeping these slightly translucent with the way it's being done, I want to make sure the color is consistent. So I will do that. So in case you're wondering what I keep moving, it's this bad boy. This is my wrist assist. I just move it over so it's underneath her wrist. And I can slide and push her at will very easily. If you don't have one, you should. Because they are the bomb diggity. And those were designed by my lovely friend Robin. She's a nail tech in Florida. She came on one of the cruises last year.
I definitely have one.
Hopefully the stew turned out good. I made Guinness stew for the boys. Alright, go and put that in. So I got gel on up here on my brush, and that's a big no-no because I don't like it getting on my fingers. Alright, so now I'm just going to do a quick fill in here. Oh. This is the step that if I knew she was doing a solid color, I would just do it with Trinity. So it would go on a little bit easier. Just because you could brush it on just like gloss. But because it's going to be translucent, I'm just going to go ahead and use the same color. And then we'll be finished filing these bad boys. And then we're doing cows. Some French, some cow print. Which I was real excited. I was like, oh, we have a new stamping plate. But apparently we sold out of them at camp. So I gotta get some more. I know. So I'm doing it like the old days. Hand painted. Yep. But it's an easy one. You're literally just smashing black on top of white. So I'm just making sure that I have enough to follow my shape. So when I look at these from the side and I go to file these down, I want to make sure that I've got enough product there so that I can get my shape in without having to add a whole bunch more, ideally. Anyone have any questions on Facebook?
No.
It's quiet. Is anyone still hanging out with us? So look at it from the side, check and see, you know, when you're looking at it from the side, you can see better. Do you have enough product for your arch? Looking at it from the side. So I was going to try to twist her hand the other way, but it don't work that way. Just going to disconnect your fingers. So now I have enough right in the middle that I can create an arch with that. And I am going to do the thumb this time because it's not so much product that gravity is going to mess with it like that first step.
Connie asked, how do you like your lamp you won at camp?
I haven't set it up yet, and here's why. I want the risers that Profile sells so that it's lifted up and so that it's not blocking my view from my client. And I was debating, so I had just bought a lamp from Glamour. Another nail tech had told me about it, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll give it a shot. I got it on the Labor Day sale, and I had it shipped to Tiffany's. And I had just gotten it at camp. So literally had just gotten this brand new lamp that I had spent a pretty penny on. So I'm like, okay, I need to set it up and see if I like it because I just got it. So that's the one I'm using right now. And I think I've decided I'm going to keep it because in my new salon, I have a lash station or facial station. There's a esthetician space. And I talked to her yesterday when she came, and she says it's the exact kind of lamp that she likes, and that would be great. So this will become my lash lamp because it has an arch, which is great. It's on an arm, which is great, but it's not as big or as bright as the amazing Ugly Duckling lamp. So as soon as I get the risers for it, or maybe if I can figure out the file, I can have my daughter print me, like 3D print me some risers. She's got a fancy 3D printer.
Oh, wow.
I know. So if I can have her do that, then I can set it up and start using that one, and this will just go in storage until I have my new salon space. Someday. Yeah, they did a lot today. It was pretty exciting. I check in sometimes, you know, quietly. And, oh, I could have popped these off on the other hand. I'll pop them off now that there's product on there that's keeping them steady.
Hope you're here, Tammy. I can see what's going on.
Yeah, here we go, if you guys want to see your Louis. That one's real good and tight in there. These are not sticking to her, which is nice. If someone has really dry skin, that will stick a little bit, and sometimes you've got to peel off part of the form that left behind. But hers are perfect. All right, flip. Oh, so bright red. So you get that bright red because of the white. So see how it was translucent before? It's not translucent, but it's really, 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 really nice and bright. So
amazing.
are you so excited?
Yep. I sure am.
I can see it on your face.
I remember
she has her excited
when
face.
I first started nail school in like 2016, and you did my nails, of course. And I went to school, and the teacher the next day was sitting there getting her nails done, but literally her nails were already done, so they were just polishing on the underside the red. And I was like, there's no way you as a teacher think that that's how that happened. It was so funny. But yeah, ever since then they've all been trying to do it, and so now I get to bring it to this school and see what they try to do.
How do you should quiz them. You should be like, tell me how you think this happened.
Right. Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah. We're just going to do a little bit of a quiz. How well do you know products and techniques? Write me a 100-word essay on how you think this happened.
Do we have to? Yeah, we do.
If anyone gets it correct, you get
a swag.
Yeah.
You get something from the swag bag.
I know. I just donated a bunch of stuff. A couple leftover items from camp for her school. So we had some leftover swag, and so it was able to go to the beauty school. These lucky, lucky dogs. They don't even know how lucky they are.
No idea.
They're just going to be like, oh, thank you.
Right.
But not appreciate it.
No, I'm going to make them work for it, though. That's for sure.
That is a good idea. Make them prizes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a really good idea. You get free
You should
stuff.
rate them. Do you have 4E gel? Do you have this color? Do you have that color? I'm like, you guys do know we pay for this out of pocket, which you do.
Yeah, you should do too, is that if you are at school a minimum of 35 hours a week, you get a swag from the swag box.
That's a good one. Literally, we talked to this girl maybe last week, and we all set alarms on our phone to come check on her, make sure she's there at 8 o'clock. As soon as we talked to her, she started arriving an hour later. And I'm like, it seems like it's gotten worse, and it has. So yeah, I asked them today, I was like, how can we support you guys? We can't come to your front door, but what can we do to get you guys here? And so maybe this will help.
Yeah. It'd be like, this week, if you were here and on time, you get to pick one item. There's enough in there for a good month or two of.
And of course, they all know about you, so I'm going to tell them where it came from.
Secrets out. Jody asked if there's any plays for my daughter this year. So she is helping out on crews. So recently she's been doing she's a little artist. Reminds me of Lorraine here. Lorraine did her painted for her birthday when she turned 8.
Was she 8?
6?
Maybe 6.
It might have been 6. She had a carnival birthday, and Lorraine made her this great, almost like cornhole. Yeah, like hacky sack, where you had to throw it in the eyes and the mouth, I think, of the clown. We still have it. It's awesome. And so, anyway, so Lorraine is an amazing painter. And so Larissa is also, she tends to do a lot of the set work for the shows. So she'll go in and she's been painting. She's been stenciling. So, like old school, like stencil, like doing. So she's been basically making a wallpaper on the set for the new show that's coming out. She's not acting in it. Unfortunately, her school is stupid, and she's in Running Start, which means that she is taking college classes that count for college and high school, which is great. But they have a rotating schedule that is stupid. So instead of rotating it the same every week, they switch it. So 1 week is a B week. And so on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, they'll have certain classes, like even classes. Then Tuesday, Thursday, they'll have the odd. And then the next week, they'll switch it. Well, the problem with that is that anyone in Running Start, they're usually at school Mondays and Wednesdays or Tuesdays and Thursdays. So it eliminates their ability to take any of the classes in the high school unless they can get done at the college early enough to get to the high school. But the college is not close. It's a half-hour drive. So she finishes at 11:30 with her college classes. And for her to drive to the high school to then be in choir, she misses the first half anytime choir is on a Tuesday and Thursday. So it's like, could you guys, if you have to rotate a day because it's uneven doing it that way, just rotate Fridays. Keep Monday, Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday, keep those days the same and just rotate Fridays. And so, I don't know. It's stupid. We had a rotating schedule, block schedule when I was in high school, but it was, I want to say on Wednesdays we had every class. So it was Monday and Thursday was even, and Tuesday and Friday was odd, and then Wednesdays you had all 8 classes. I went to a school that had 8 classes. So it was a school that had majors, and so your major you had for 2 periods. So I was an orchestra major. And so you had it for 2 periods, which meant you had it for an odd and an even, which meant you had that major every day, no matter what. So, all right. In you go. So that is it for all of the building that we have to do. So again, if I wasn't concerned with keeping the color totally consistent, the second step I would have just used my Trinity, which I don't use this a whole heck of a lot, but it is so pretty to use. And it's a more self-leveling gel. So if you do like a more self-leveling gel, this is really great. But for most of my clients, they're just wearing their nails. They're just wearing their nails clear. So it's not super necessary to be using a colored gel. Comments, questions?
Dana said that gel looks amazing to sculpt with.
It is really nice. It's very buttery. It's not sticky. It's not really stiff. I've used some sculpture gels in the past that have been too stiff and too sticky. And this one's like very buttery and nice and smooth. I love it. You're not trying to get it perfect. You're going to be filing the nail. People that spend a ton of time trying to make your surface smooth, you're just wasting time because you're going to be filing it. And since gel files very simple, you're just wasting time. So don't try to make it perfect. Make a mess. It can look like that. It's no big deal. Alrighty. Now we are going to make a mess.
Tammy mentioned the delicious cider you used to make. She said Elle sent her the directions to make the cider.
Yeah, so I'm just grabbing my Valentine because I'm going to make a bunch of mess, so I might as well move it over. I have a standing table now for this part, and I'm starting with clients, and so this, just had to move it over.
I'm sure that cider is the one that you used to make. It's good. No, it's a different one?
No, so Larissa works at Starbucks now.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And so yesterday she made me a caramel cider. So she just heated up caramel and like cider, and she can aerate it a little bit, but then she put whipped cream on it. It was delicious. Yeah. I do different things with apple cider. I've made apple pie moonshine for my clients before, which they were big fans of, I'm sure. Okay. So I'm going to switch to a coarse sanding band. I don't like carbide bits. I hate the sound of them. I can't take it. I can't do it. I hate the sound. So I am a old school sanding band person. So I'm going to turn this on. Sorry if it gets noisy, but that's what it is. Hi, Lori. Oh, she said she missed you. She said she can't hear. Y'all should be able to hear me now, but maybe if you were starting from the beginning, there was no sound, but we fixed it. Would love to hear what you think are the pros and cons of nails as a career. All right, let's do a little bit of this first, and then I'll talk, because I don't know if you can hear me right now. So I just get it started debulking. I am going to be doing primarily most of my filing with a hand file, but I'll just go through and kind of clean it up a little bit and get it started. Because sometimes I don't like the sound. I'm a sound person. Sometimes I don't like the sound that the file makes when it hits the shiny surface at the beginning. So using my e-file to get it going, it's now a softer sound when I go to file it, and it doesn't make that screechy sound, which I don't like. You know what I mean? So I'm just getting it started here. Lori, can you hear me now, or did you start with the beginning of the video when I had no sound? You should be able to hear me now. I haven't accidentally muted it. So again, I'm not being real particular. I'm just getting this started. I'll be doing most of the finished filing with my hand file. That one might have a low spot. We'll find out when I get there. Might have to add a smidge more product. It happens. Real nails, y'all. Real nails, real time. So I'm just getting these started. They're a little bit smoother now. They should be working. Did I finally get my foot pedal fixed? No. I keep having to switch it on and off and turn it. My husband did find it again the other day because he had kind of put it all in another room. And he's like, oh, your foot pedal, do you still want it fixed? I'm like, yes. Yes, I do, because they don't make it like that anymore. And it was getting stuck, and he's like, I think I just need to blow it out there. And I'm like, really? How long's it been I've been without my foot pedal? and you just need to blow it out of there. So I'm hoping that it appears again, because I do miss it immensely, because I have no foot pedal right now. So right now I'm at 75%, which is a 30,000 RPM, so you do the math. But I miss my foot pedal. Sammy asked how my back is doing. Still pretty crappy. I've started learning to try not to overdo it. I know you don't believe me. I'm not working 14-hour days very often. And if I have a long day, I will try, like I didn't have time today, but I usually try kind of midday to put a heating pad on my back, and that really helps a lot. But it's crappy. They have no helpful information right now as far as what they want to do. They did say a while ago that they want to put cement in my back. Not so sure about that. Just checking to see if the length looks comparable. It's maybe a smidge long, so I'm going to take it off a little bit. So that gets it done. So again, if you missed it, here's the nice bright red underneath. La la! And it's real shiny because Trinity works as a, it shouldn't be sticky either. No. So Trinity works as a top gloss too, so it's very shiny inherently, which means that you get a really nice shiny surface underneath. It works great. Alright, I'm gonna... I haven't even made them look awesome yet.
They look great, huh,
Thanks, Connie. Lori asked how the house was coming. Slowly but surely, although today it was real exciting to watch. He actually has a couple of guys who volunteered to go help this week. And so they have a 4-man crew out there, which is huge. That's double what he usually is. And they were putting on the floor joists for the attic floor, and they got them just almost, I think, about done today. Like there's not very much left, if there's any left at all. I think there's a little left in the pantry, but they might be waiting for a beam to be able to finish that part. But if you want to see what it looks like, I do post on Instagram. I think it's Briar Moon Rock. If you just search for Briar Moon, it'll come up because it's a made-up name and there's only a couple of us. So if you search for Briar Moon, it should come up. But that's where I post like little time-lapse videos and things like that when Jared remembers to take them. And there's also updates on the kitties, because we have 3 kitties out there now. Who like to assist with the build sometimes. So we're just taking off, we're debulking right now. We're just getting the nail kind of smoother, taking some of the sides down, just so that I have less to hand file. But I'm not trying to make it perfect at all. So this is just kind of step 1 so that I have less hand filing to do. But I still hand file. I've done classes with friends who are huge, like e-file only every single thing. I am not that person. So I will debulk and get some of this ready to hand file, but then I will be finished filing by hand. Well, there's a couple reasons for that. Oh, and yeah, we have pros and cons. So you guys can hear me even over the fan? That's good. I guess I've been talking the whole time. They will burn if you don't lift up. So I'm very light with my pressure here, but also you have to realize her natural nail is only right here. And so much of what I'm filing isn't even on her nail bed. So there's not a ton of heat to be had because I'm not concentrating here very long at all because I'm not doing most of the work right there. So there's really not going to be any heat for what I'm doing right now because it's not very long. Now when I'm removing color, like for a fill, I will get people sometimes that say there's heat, but it's usually because I've cranked up the power and I'm not lifting it up. It's not their fault, it's my fault. It's just staying on the surface too long without lifting up your bit. But if you like carbides, there's nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of techs who absolutely love their carbides. Power to you. I just don't. Huh? I can't do the sound.
And then one more before you tell us the pros and cons. Tammy goes, wait, you made up your last name?
Yeah. Yes. I didn't make up the last name. My mother-in-law did. So when she divorced her husband, I think when she divorced her second husband, maybe? I don't know. No, maybe it was the first because Jared was little. Anyway, when she got divorced from Jared's dad, she did not want to keep her maiden name because she did not get along with her parents. She did not want to keep the married name because she had a not so happy divorce. So she decided she was just going to make a name up. And she liked Briar Moon, so she made it up. And the school was like, you can't have a made up name because she didn't go and she had 5 kids. She didn't go and legally change all 5 kids' names because that would cost money. That's not something she's going to do. And so she enrolled them under their new name, and they were like, well, we're not going to let your kids go here. And she goes, really? I know that you guys make, I don't know, $6,000 the school district pays for each kid to go to the school. And I will unenroll my kids from your school district and homeschool them. And they were like, fine. So, yeah. So she won, and so they were Briar Moon. I want to say he was maybe in 3rd grade or something. But playing with all of that, the apple does not fall far from the tree. 2 of his siblings, I think just 2 of them, well, one of them's married, so she doesn't really count, I guess. But 2 of the siblings refuse to have her name because they hate their mother. So they went to their dad's name, which is Potter. And so he has 2 siblings that are Potter, and another one that's Briar Moon like he is, and then a married one that's got her married name. Yeah. It's an interesting family, isn't it? But alright, let me compare. So I'm just going to do a quick comparison to make sure that these are at least in the neighborhood of being the same. Like that one's not. So if you do this ahead of time, it just saves you a lot of work from hand filing, which in my case is very helpful for my back. No, I'm going back. So I'm just checking to make sure they're in the same neighborhood, okay? See how much longer. I tend to make the second hand longer because I worry that I'm going to make it too short and then I'm going to be too short. So almost always it's my second hand that I'm shortening a little bit more to make it even with the first one. So let's check thumbs. So yeah, almost always I purposely make the second hand longer so that I can shorten it to the other hand. It's on purpose. All right. That is going to be it for my e-file because I'm going to be doing the rest by hand. So I'm going to move this bad boy because I don't hand file with this on my lap or on my table. I do not. All right. Beverage. All right. Let's talk filing schedule. Let's see what we got going on. Okay, so you want to have a method to how you are filing. So I will usually come from the sidewall, get in there, make sure it's nice and straight coming out, and then I'm going to roll up. And she wants these slightly tapered, so as I roll up, I'm angling my file in so that I get a little bit of a taper. The more coffin that someone wants, the more you're going to push in. We're not making a full coffin on this. We're just getting a slight taper, which in reality, once we've added our French, sometimes it ends up making it more square anyway. So if I'm worried about that, because I'm going to be adding a French, I can taper it a little bit more, knowing that when I add the product here, it's going to make it more square. I definitely don't want flared nails, so I'm always going to taper it a little bit, no matter what, because I don't do flare. Nope.
No duckies.
No duckies here. I do not. So tapering. Now that I've done my sidewalls and the front, just straightening that out, now I'm going to go and work around the cuticle. Don't go here and then back here and then over here. You're just going to waste time. Pull your skin back, start on one side, smooth it out, and continue moving around the nail. A little crooked. So then I'm going to come all the way to this side, and you can push the cuticle back with your file. That's why these are shaped this way, so that you can push this back. Make sure that you're getting it nice and smooth all the way around the cuticle and that there's no product there. Now I'm going to look down the barrel. This is when you look down and you're gliding your file over. Hello. Which is a little bit more graceful when you don't have a camera in your face, I can tell you. This also allows you to see that your sidewalls are even from side to side. You can't see that unless you are looking down the barrel. So you need to be looking straight down. After I've thinned out my free edge how I want, I'm going to go through, and this is going to be when I touch this whole section. This is the last area you touch. This is your stress area. You don't want to immediately put your file down and start filing. That's like the worst thing that students do 9 times out of 10, right?
Yep.
They just immediately put their file down and start filing. No, that's the last area that you touch because that's where your shape is. That's where your strength is.
Yeah, they don't believe in an apex.
Yeah, that's no bueno.
Call them Instagram nails.
You need to definitely like make that swag prizes for good things, like showing up on time, doing a good nail.
How mad I get when they don't cap the free edge. I'm like, what are you guys doing?
Capping the free edge is not as vital depending on what kind of product you're using. It looks so you don't really have to cap the free edge, but it looks bad if you don't.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to make sure that you've got color there, but I thin out my free edge. I thin out my free edge at the end of the service. Mm-hmm. So even if like it was so thin that you wouldn't know. In this instance, let's turn this over. Let's see if we can show. So in this instance, it should be so thin that it's just a very thin layer of your red, your white, your pink. I don't have any more product on than that. But if you were to file down here, this is where all your strength is farther up in your nail, but your tip should be very thin. So looking at the side, I want to make sure that she's got a good shape in there. So as I'm filing, I'm turning and looking at her nail from the side to make sure that I have a good shape. So if you look at it from the side, you have your arch and then it's coming down. Okay. Do you see it? Okay. And sometimes I'm very particular now working these areas, because when I did a class with Madeline and she looked at my nails, she was always like, your nail have a belly. And so I'm like, I don't know what you mean. Well, I tend to create or have a little bit of extra product in this area right here, and she calls it the belly. And I try not to have a belly anymore. So
the other teacher says you need to put some Spanx on your nail. So that makes sense.
Yes, it needs to not have a belly. And so that's just proper tapering, is getting that shape down. All right, that one is good. That's fine. Okay, next one. Coming up flat, rolling in. And as you can see, I'm holding the nail tight on the side so that I can put pressure. Same over here. I'm coming up flat and I'm rolling in, and that's so that I can put pressure on the nail and it's not just like twisting her hand over. You want to have something for that pressure to be going against. So put your finger there so that you can push with your file and it's not going to affect them. So my side, my front is good. Good enough. So now I'm going to go from one corner. I'm going to smooth this out. And I'm going around the cuticle to make sure that that's tapered and in. It's quiet on YouTube. Is it quiet on Facebook? Mm-hmm. Is anyone still with us?
Yeah.
So going around the cuticle, smoothing, smoothing, smoothing. Then what am I doing? I'm lifting and I'm going to go, and I'm holding my file like this. This lets me have all of this space of pressure. It's hard to show. I guess I could lift it a little bit. So it lets me have all of this space of pressure when I'm filing on the nail. Okay, so I'm going to push back a smidge. So looking down the barrel, smoothing out from one side to the other. Looks pretty good. Okay, now I'm going to go and look at it from the side view and see where my arch needs to be. And straighten it, flatten it, get my arch in the right spot, and then finish up again to smooth. And again, I'm going to give it a little bit of a taper just so that when I go to do my French, it doesn't get too square or flare out. We don't want flary nails. No flare for you. So pros and cons, right? We had a conversation started. So sorry I didn't get to it again. I forgot. All right, so pros and cons of the nail industry. I would say pro number one is setting your own schedule. It's like one of the main reasons I got into doing nails is because I was like, oh, I could work for myself. I don't have to work for somebody else. I can set my own schedule. I can work when I want. I was like, I want to have kids someday, and I can do that and like work when I need to work and not when I'm not. So I would say being able to set your own schedule is a huge pro. And I really, that comes to light a lot when I talk to people about, hey, are you going to, you know, do a vacation here? Or are you going to, oh, well, I don't have vacation time. And I'm like, what's vacation time? Like, you don't, that is a con. If you're working for yourself in the nail industry, you don't have vacation time. You need to set that kind of money aside for later, or you need to just plan on, okay, if I want to take 3 weeks of vacation this year, I need to make sure I've got 3 weeks of income saved up so that I can do that and I can still pay the bills. I tend to make it so that I can pay the bills on 3 weeks of nail work. Is my goal. So you've got to get your prices where they need to be. You need to get your clientele up. But my goal has always been I need to be able to work 3 weeks a month and be able to pay the bills. That allows me that extra week either for extra money, for vacation time, for extra spending, for whatever. But if you can make sure you can pay your bills in 3 weeks, that extra week becomes your vacation or becomes your bonus or something like that. So I always recommend people to try to budget and make it so that you can plan to pay your bills in 3 weeks of work. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So that makes it easy for me to be like, oh, I'm going to go to a trade show, or I want to take a vacation with my family because I know that, and if I want to do a 2-week vacation, then I'm going to be using my week from last month and this month. But if you can figure out what you need to be making to make that work, you'll be able to have more vacation time and more freedom than those who have to ask someone for their vacation time. I would say a con is it is very hard on the body, which if you are a experienced nail tech, you will agree with this because it's not easy on the body doing this kind of a job. But if you can do things to take care of yourself, whether it's stretching, I now do all of my color removal for my appointments on a standing desk. And I think that kind of helps get me out of the chair for 10-15 minutes at the beginning of every appointment. So I have my Valentino on a standing desk right there. And so all I do is I start the appointment standing. And then once we're done, we sit for the rest of the appointment. But it kind of gets me out of the chair. And I can stretch my poor sad back for a hot minute.
Yeah, ergonomics is super important.
Yeah, you do want to make sure you're working as much as you can with your feet flat on the floor. Have a comfortable chair. It's so funny, like when I got this chair, it happened to be like right, I think it got delivered when I was on the trip where I broke my back. And so people didn't really notice it necessarily because everyone was like, oh my gosh, you're in a back brace. That was what was noticeable. And so even still, sometimes people are like, did you get a new chair? I'm like, a year ago. It's been there for a while. And they're like, really? Like, yeah. So it's comfortable. I had the other one. I think I probably used my other chair for 10 years maybe before I switched to this one. So I'm a big fan of white chairs because we make a lot of dust in our life. And so it's not as noticeable on a white chair as it is if you have a black chair. And you just can't save yourself from all the dust all the time. So you have to, it's like dog hair. Like you can't save yourself. If you live in a house with cats or dogs, you can't save yourself from it. But can you do things to make it less noticeable? Don't have a black floor. Mm-hmm. Don't have a black couch and a white cat. All right, so as I'm filing again, I'm checking from all sides to make sure my arch is where I want it. And that they're tapered a smidge so that when I go to do the French, it doesn't make them too squared or flary.
There was no low spot?
No low spot. I thought there was, but no. It's good. This one's still a smidge thinner. It's so quiet. No one said anything for so long. I hope we're still on. I think we are.
I have 11 over here.
All right. Hello to you, 11. All right, so flipping these over and looking down the barrel, you should see consistently that they all should be relatively thin. And you just have your red, your white, and your pink. Is that a good angle? It's so hard to see. But you can see if I angle like this. So you should have a nice thin extension. And then looking at it from the side, you should have a nice arch. We're so upside down, but there's no way around it. You should have a nice tapered arch on the top of each of those. So we're getting there. And then we're going to make some couch and some French tips. I hope the stew is good. I'm surprised I hear no sound from the other room. Usually they're watching TV or something. He must be TikToking on his phone.
Yeah. Probably.
But I thought there was 3 of them.
There was.
They're so quiet, those boys.
I have a question. What's your favorite game that you guys played at nail camp?
Our favorite game. I mean, it's always fun to see them do the team games. So we brought back some old school games because it was retro. So we had all the old, like we were trying to do games we've done a million times. So we brought back the old spaghetti and marshmallow game, which is all about structure.
Oh, I love that one.
That's pretty fun. And it was interesting because there was one team where I was like, wow, theirs looking so, like, not that their structure as a whole was looking good, but they were all building these pieces, like these triangle pieces that were like very cool. I'm like, wow, that's impressive. And I thought for sure they're going to end up being the winners because it looked pretty amazing. But no, they did not get them stacked properly or something. I don't know. But it was, in theory, would have been very well done if they could have figured out how to stack them. So that's really fun. Everyone cheated on the drawing game. So you didn't go to Texas. So we started doing one in Texas where the whole team, everyone has a string that's holding a marker, like one marker, all the strings for all the people. And everybody has to hold one string. And you're tracing the logo. So the Nail Camp logo, which this year was Retro Reunion. And so it's about communication and working together because if one person's pulling, the other people aren't like letting them, then you can't do a thing. And so you've got to work together to do it, but it only works if everyone is holding it at the same place. You know how many people were cheating that game? I kept telling, I was like, move your hand back. Move it back.
Yeah.
And we had red marker on the string, and it was like, you cannot, you can't move your fingers past the red line on every single string. People still cheated.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna have to put like a metal washer on the string so they can't put their hand forward in the future, because I went to every single stinking table. Oh, good. Francesca's still here. Thanks, Francesca, for letting me know. I super appreciate it. So yeah, every single table, there was at least one person where I'm like, scoot your hand back, you know? So I've got to, maybe I should do that before I put them all away. I've been reorganizing. Okay. So we have an issue.
Real world nail.
Yeah. So if you look at this, see how flat this is right here? I mean, you can even look at my file. It's completely flat, and I don't have any arch right here where I should have a little bit of an arch. So I'm going to add a little bit of product, but I'm going to wait until I've done these ones, because if I need to do that on more than one, I don't want to waste time waiting in the light. So I might as well wait until I have another nail to see if I need to do another one. So if I leave that flat like that, it's very likely she'd get a crack right about here.
Yep, and I braid hair. So
she braids hair.
Definitely had a crack.
So we have to make sure that arch and structure is like of prime importance with these. Can't have no flat nails.
Shannon said, I so wish I could have made it to nail camp. Me too. I was actually working this year, the 9-to-5 job, so I wasn't quite able to go unless I had a whole bunch of students that wanted to go. Next time. Yeah.
Well, and it was too late for you guys to fundraise. Usually the schools, if they fundraise, they can make a lot of the money the students need for camp, but she didn't become a teacher until like the month before, so it wasn't enough time for them to fundraise getting her students there. So, what Shannon is that?
That is Shannon Arnold.
I thought it was. Hi, Shannon. I saw her like a year ago at a nail event in Maine, Massachusetts. I don't know, Shannon. Where were we? It was a little kind of networking show. There was like as many educators as there was attendees. Wow. But the cook did amazing. It was delicious. Yeah. Because the food was included. And he made real Belgian waffles, which I was super impressed with. Oh, wow. Because I've been there and learned how to make them. And like, it takes using a different kind of sugar, and like, it crystallizes different. And I was super impressed. I was like, dude, this guy knows how to cook. Yeah. That is not always the case. This year, our food at nail camp was not anyone's favorite. So I'm going to have to like really quiz the camps next time and be like, look, I get you have a school here.
Right.
However, these are grown-ups, and we would like something that's better. Like their drink, they would serve like Kool-Aid.
No.
Yeah, with dinner. It was like, come on. You know, and I get you're trying to make it bland so all the kids are happy at lunch, but the adults would like a little flavor. So it was not the best of meal situations.
She said, oh, Jessica White. Hi, Jessica. Massachusetts. Fun, fancy nail event.
Massachusetts. That's what it was. I'm like, I knew it was somewhere. I couldn't remember. It might have been 2 years ago, actually. I don't know. My years just get all jumbled together. All right, so holding it on the side, rolling up. Hold the nail on the other side, roll up. This is about the time where I'm like, I need a new file. Carrie says, yeah, we need to chat about that. I'm guessing the food, right? Oh. I'm putting together an email, and also their keys, because Jared found their keys in his truck. But I'm letting them know that their food quality was not good enough for events. Which isn't a big deal. We won't be back there if we go back there, we wouldn't be back there for at least 5 years. So I don't anticipate going back there anyway. Like the next time we're in the Northwest, I'd really like it to be in Oregon, but we won't be in the Northwest for at least 5 years. We've got so many other places to go. So much easier when you grab a new file. Sometimes it's just necessary. If you're finished filing a long set of nails, just grab a new file after a while. You know, in some competition circuits, the competitors will actually have a different file for every nail because they don't want to file one nail more than another. We're not competing, and that's craziness to me, but I have met competitors who do such things. Oh, wow. Yeah. So now I'm holding the file up and gliding straight forward and back, thinning that out and getting an arch in there. So when I'm filing, I'm only filing from about here forward. That's allowing this shape to happen where I get a nice shape in the nail and it's not flat like this one. See how that's flat? That one has a nice shape. This one's not going to break. The other one will. Does that help, seeing those side by side? What to do, what not to do. All on the same set.
Connie said agreed. Food could have been better, but I appreciate camp.
Good. Connie's always so sweet.
Yeah, she said she had a blast.
Yes, I'm hoping that our next facilities are good. I've been emailing them. They're not really answering me very much right now because I think it's too far out. But I'm going to keep bugging them until someone answers me and helps me figure it out. And more than one person was given food that was not good for their special diets. Yeah, I think the special diet thing can get kind of tricky. But yes, they didn't know what was in the food as much. Like someone was allergic to something and they didn't look that this soup that they were serving, like way down at the bottom, had that allergen.
Right.
And so they had an allergy attack. So that's not cool either. So it just, overall, like they were very, very nice, but not the best food situation. And for me as a planner, it's all just a learning experience. More things to bug the people about. You know, a lot of the time it's, I need the menu to make sure you're not cooking something crazy. Yeah. So I was able to get past that because in reality they're cooking for kids. So the cooking something crazy didn't have to happen, but at the same time it's like, you gotta work on that.
I guess I should do a tasting first.
Well, they can't taste 10 meals, you know. Like
That's
I could
true.
go, but when I go visit the facility, I'm going for one day to check out and make sure I have meeting space.
That's true.
So.
And 10 meals is a lot.
I
said 10 meals is a lot.
Yeah.
Think of that, not just like a wedding where it's like
Right.
one
It's not just one
meal.
meal. It's 10 meals.
Yeah.
So it is a lot of feeding a lot of people. So very carefully go around the cuticle. It gets a little bit slower when I'm doing the tiny, tiny cuticles. Tiny little nails. Making sure that that's pushed back. There's nothing in there. If you get product in the cuticle area, you need to get it out and smooth it out. Leaving any product in that area is a recipe for disaster. So do not do it. Okay, then hold down the barrel. Glide. Don't bounce. Check and see when you're doing this if you're doing that. Because if you bounce, you're creating bumps and divots in the nail that then you have to get the bumps and divots out. So hold your file down and glide over the top, going back and forth with a very light touch. That will give you a completely smooth surface without any divots. Look at it from the side. See how your arch is? This one looks really good. You guys see that? So looking at that from the side, you want to see where your arch is, how it's shaped. It's all good. And then check down the barrel again. Make sure it's tapered. Okay. And then holding that file to the side, I'm going to get pressure going in and rolling up. So this usually wouldn't be this. Let's see, we've been at this for like 2 hours. I do take longer when I'm on camera. It's just what happens. If this length of a set was booked, it'd probably be a 2.5 hour booking, which we might actually hit 2.5 hours because all we have left to do after I'm done with this is our color. So just depends on how long I take because it is a French, so it's a little bit trickier. So I'm getting some more bulk out. I actually had quite a bit of product on this one. Which makes it hard to do this part if you have too much product. Go down around the cuticle. Give it a push. Checking from the side. All right, now I'm going to just add a bit on this one nail so that I can fix it. So I'm going to get that on, and while I am waiting for it to cure, we will go ahead and start with our blush on the other hand. So I'm just trying to get a little bit of some shape in here because it's too flat. So look at it from the side, see where you need it. All right, she can put that in. So I'm going to clean this up a bit because we're all kinds of dusty now. I'm going to put this in my little case. Do you like my purple table? I made it from epoxy. That's how my floors are going to be. Well, not purple, but they'll be made with epoxy at the new shop. All right, so we're doing a French with some cow print. And I'm going to start with just one coat of blush, which I always have out because I use it every single day almost. There it is. Just about every day. So I'm going to do a coat of blush. One of the reasons for this is that when I go to do my white, I want to have a nice, slick, smooth surface. And doing blush first is going to give me that. Does anyone have any questions about this full set? So there's a little bit of red and white in that little corner and in this little corner, but I'm actually doing a really deep French, so it's going to start there anyway, so I'm not worried about it. Do you have any questions?
No.
You've seen it, you've been there, done it.
Yeah, it's just been a while.
I know. It's almost like, did you stop? Have I not seen you since COVID? It hasn't been that long.
When did my cousin got married? Maybe it's been like a year and a half. So I think she got married February of 2023. Yeah, that's like the last, or maybe January. Yeah, January 2020.
Wow. It's like a year and a half.
And then I was in Esto school.
Right, you were an esthetician. So I'm going to just remove some of the blush where I know my white is going. There is a couple reasons for this. One, I want to keep my French thin. And in order to do this, I need to not have the blush right there. So by removing it, it helps do it. Now, don't wipe your smile line like you're carving a smile line. Like, don't totally etch it because you will end up pushing it up and creating a ledge. So you're just removing where you think that's going to go. And I know I didn't do the thumb. I'm going to do it after. I want to make sure things are good. Oh, we have to file this bad boy first. All right, now looking down the barrel, I'm going to smooth this out again. Check it from the side, see that the shape is what I want. All right. Can I get a fresh wipe? A client wants an overlay on her natural nails. What would you choose, Trinity or Balance? 100% I would choose Trinity. Balance is really when you need to create a nail and you want something that's not as runny. It's not going to really self-level. You're going to have to finish file it. There is no need to use Balance on that. Save yourself a lot of time and a lot of grief. Use a nice thin coat of Trinity and you're done. Using Balance is going to take you way longer and you're going to have a whole extra step finish filing that. And another extra step because you have to do a bonding gel under Balance and you don't have to do a bonding gel under Trinity. So you're actually adding 2 extra steps and finish filing something you don't have to do with Trinity. So that's a lot of extra steps on natural nails. So 100% just Trinity. And you just treat it like someone who is, you know, like all your other clients, if you're doing fills on them with Trinity, it's the same thing. It's just you're not having anything to remove to begin with. So it's like I charge the same, but in reality, you actually get a little tiny break because you don't have to do the removal. But sometimes you do have a little bit more cuticle work than if they're coming in on a regular basis. What do you think?
Looks good.
She's staring at her nails.
I like the color.
Yeah, it's pretty, huh?
Mm-hmm.
It's a really nice base for French, so it'll work really well. So again, I'm going to go ahead and take my brush. This is my 106 brush, and I'm just removing that blush where my white's going to go. And it doesn't have to be exact because your blush is going to kind of self-level back. So I almost do a little bit more than what I plan to be doing the white, because your blush is going to just glide back into place. So it's no problem. And you can do 2 coats of blush if you want, but 1 in this situation I think is plenty. We're just trying to make sure we have a nice smooth surface for our French. And we already have a good amount of color from her builder. So I think 1 is going to be enough. I'm just going to give that a second for the blush to kind of settle. And now I can go in. Does the white expand over the tacky layer of the color? I wipe the tacky layer off because it moves sometimes. You'll see, because I'm about to do the white over the color. So I think it depends on what brand of color you're using. Every gel polish is made differently, and some of them have a very slick surface to work on, and some of them have a very dry surface to work on. So it really depends on the gel polish you're using. I only do 1 nail at a time when I'm doing French, and then put it in the light so it doesn't move a whole heck of a lot. But if you're trying to do a whole hand, yeah, for sure it's going to move. But I'm going to spend more time fighting it than if I just use do 1 finger at a time and put it where I want it and get it in the light. So that's what I do. All right, so I'm just getting a square brush. This is pretty much the only thing I use this brush for is for French. And like I just said, I'm going to be doing 1 nail at a time. And there's different ways you can do this. You can do it with like a paint-on white, like an art white, but I tend to always just use Polar. So if it's anything I want to fix, I'll just use my dry brush. Little air bubble, which I don't care about, but will sometimes pop and then it looks funny. So I want to get that out. So this is the look she's going for, right? The deep French? Or is that too deep? No, that's good. Good? Good. That's a speak now or forever hold your peace situation. Because it's already curing now. So that's, I usually will check with clients, especially when it's something that they haven't done in a long time, or, you know, check the color, like do a nail and be like, you like that color? And just check. I follow some nail art groups, and I think a lot of them are just, they're not nail techs that are in there. And they're like, you know, this is what I asked for, this is what I got type situation. And sometimes they'll post, this is what I asked for, this is what I got. And I'm like, so were you sleeping? Because you could have told them that you are doing a completely wrong color or whatever the issue is. Like, I don't understand why they don't speak up if they're not loving it, you know, when it's able to be fixed anyway.
My sister did that at the shop, that other shop when it just opened. And then she decided to call me and complain. I said, well, did they chop your hand off and take it and then do that and bring it back to you? She could have said something.
Yeah, like say something. Like if you don't like the shape, if you don't like the color, like I would always check shape with the first nail, because I don't want to shape the entire hand and then have them be, you know, I think I want a more oval. And it's like, so now I get to reshape the entire hand. So I always ask them with the first nail, like, is this the shape you want? Is this the length you want? Because it takes a long time to shape an entire hand. And I don't want to have to do it again because you suddenly are just now paying attention to your nails. So definitely always ask your clients, like, is this the length you're going for? Any of your client experience separate the tip of the nail and the gel overlay? How do you do that? The tip of the nail and the gel overlay. Are you talking about plastic tips? Are you putting on plastic tips and that's where the separation is happening? I would say your name, but I don't know how to say your name. But you said you're having, you know, or any clients have the tips separating. Plastic tips, yes, that can happen if you are not pre-etching your tips. I don't care if the tip says this is pre-etched. It's still made with plastic. It still often has a finish to it that needs etched. And if you don't buff that, a lot of times people will get separation from the tip and the gel, and you've got to buff to do that. Also using, you know, a fix-it on it or a bonding gel on the tip is really helpful on the natural nails. So I do have one client who will get her free edge, will separate sometimes from her gel, and she'll get like makeup in there or dirt or whatever. I have tried everything. I've been doing her nails for well over a decade, and I have tried everything I have come across to keep that from happening on her. Do her nails longer, do them with different bonding gels, do them with primers. They just do. And she doesn't get any lifting at the cuticle. It's in the tips. And I don't know if it's, you know, she's a dentist. I don't know if it's something she does in her job. But I get tip separation on her, and she doesn't, as long as she doesn't mess with them and she's not wearing a clear color, she doesn't notice them. But I notice them when she comes in, and I mean, you're filing and you're shortening, so that's all going away. But it's still frustrating because there should be no reason that your tips are separating on the very free edge. I had one who came in today that had that issue, but based on all of the gardening dirt that was between her nails, I know that that was not a me issue because she never has tip separation. That's definitely her issue. But so out of all the clients I've ever had, I have one regular who has it happen, and I try to keep her nails short, but it doesn't matter. It still does it. No matter what. She can still go 3 weeks. No problem. Sometimes 4. And she doesn't have a problem. She doesn't see the tip separation unless she's really paying attention to it. I only see it when I go to file her nails and I notice she's got makeup in between it. That's usually the only dead giveaway, is the little bit of makeup that is sitting between her natural nail and the gel. And I don't know why. So that's probably not much help. But it should not be happening to everyone. If it's happening to more than one person, there's things you should do. Check your lamp quality. Check what file you're using to prep the nails with. What are you using to cleanse the nail with before you're applying the gel? All of these things can lead to stuff like that. But if it's one client and not a bunch of clients, it's sometimes the client, and there's only so much you can do. Like, you know, we always try to say this is a brush, not a magic wand. And in reality, for her, whenever she had gotten her nails done before, they never held up. So even though I see the tip separation, her nails are still leaps and bounds better than what she had ever been experiencing before she came to me. So she doesn't worry about it too much. So after we do this French, we're going to grab the black and do a couple cow spots on some of them.
Should I do chocolate?
Chocolate?
Let's do a chocolate color.
Chocolate cow spots. It is fall. You're going to go see Wicked when it comes out?
What is Wicked?
Sacrilege.
I haven't watched movies since I last been here.
Well, it's a musical.
Oh.
And it's called Wicked. And it's great. I've seen it 3 times.
Oh, wow.
Well, my first time I saw it was in London. I mean, for the longest time, it was kind of like the Hamilton of its day. Like, getting tickets was unbelievably expensive and really, really hard to get. And so my first time in London, when Larissa was 19 months old, I was at Piccadilly Circus and in like the tour bus, and the guy's like, if you would like to go to a show in the West End and you get off the bus right now, you can go to the half-price tickets booth. And I'm like, I would like to get off, please. And so I went over. Can't fix that one. I went over and I was like, are there any tickets left for Wicked tonight? And he's like, yes. Looking at me like, yes, you stupid American. Of course there are. And I was like, I would like one, please. I was so excited. And I had been, you know, on a tour bus all day. And I was like, I don't care. So I found my way. Like, I had to kind of go immediately. So I went straight there. And I was in total nosebleeds, but I didn't care. And it was so great. It's such a good storyline. I mean, it's a Wizard of Oz kind of storyline.
Okay.
So you've got, you know, the Tin Man, and it's the story of the witches.
Oh.
So you've got Glinda, the Good Witch, and I mean, I'm sure you've heard some of the songs because they make their way into just like pop culture. Popular, I'm gonna be popular. That one, that's from Wicked. What else do I like? There's one called Defying Gravity that's really good. So, comes out like next month. Is anyone else going to go see Wicked? Larissa's very excited currently. There is at Starbucks, they've released some wicked, like, special merchandise and stuff. There's, like, a gift card that comes with a gold keychain. And you can use the keychain as the gift card. I'm like, that's dangerous. Like, get it off and put it on your phone. Because someone could find that and then you lose all your Starbucks money. But that being said, she's, like, geeking out over this gold, wicked gift card keychain thing.
That's good.
And they have, like, special drinks. I think for, like, 9 days, they have, like, all this special stuff happening. And then it comes out.
Oh, you know what? I think I have seen that plastered in there before. Wicked. I didn't pay much attention to it, though. But now that you're saying that.
You've seen it where?
I'm at the Starbucks.
Oh, it just would have been in there, like, 2 days ago.
I go every day.
Alrighty then. Yeah, so they have, like, wicked drinks and wicked cups and all this stuff. And it's, like, for 9 days only. It's like, that's kind of crazy. But I don't even think it comes out until, like, the 20th or something. Okay, you want brown. Do you want, like, a sparkly brown or, like, a flat brown?
Like the cocoa color.
Or linger. Chocolate brown. Or do you want darker brown?
Let's see, darker.
I have a bunch on the table because it is that time of year. But that might be the last one I was using. And I do try to clear my table like every day. This one's aficionado. So that's dark brown. Okay. Aficionado it is. Which ones do you want on? The ring finger? So we're just doing some cow spots. And you can stamp it, which there is a new clear jelly stamper stamping plate that's adorable.
Oh, I did it something.
Okay. But cow print is just pretty simple. Just dab on bits. There's kind of no rhyme or reason to it. When you look at a cow, do they have like set stripes or not stripes? Dots? No. So you just kind of make it go. Isn't that cute? Okay. Go ahead and put those in. Do you want same two or opposite?
These two.
Okay. It's a good way to cover up any of the white that didn't come out exactly perfect. So cute. Any more?
Nope, I think we're good.
Okay. All right, so now we top coat. So I'm going to go ahead and use Ultra Gloss on here. Words on her. Because it is a non-porous top coat. So it works really well with whites, especially of this length. Make sure that you have, nothing's going to stain. And just touch, drag. So the trick with nails this long is when you top coat, you really do have to kind of pay attention to how it's self-leveling, because we have the white in there. And if needed, you can use the top coat to create perfect line a little bit better. I'm way more finicky than most people are. So it's what happens. So when you're going over this brown, you want to make sure you have lots of top coat, because you want to float over it or it's going to streak. So I'm adding lots and lots of top coat so that I can float over the brown as much as possible so it's not going to streak on me. Because yes, it is cured, but when you have a dark color over white, anything's gonna show, like the smallest little. There's always a tacky layer, and there's color to that tacky layer, so it will pick that up. So you definitely want to have enough product on your brush so that you can really float it over. Everyone's so quiet. It's all quiet in Facebook land. Is anyone still hanging out with us?
Yep. We have to set our clocks back this weekend.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Jared gets to start getting off a little earlier for a while. It won't be for a long while. Eventually he'll start working by light and generator once we get our power in there. Because he's missing out on like 4 hours that he usually works.
Yeah.
Like, to get this house built, he has to do longer days, and so he'll start working on plumbing when the sun goes down, so that he's working outside and then plumbing. But I think he'll wait until after his help is out from it being in town. So this month he'll be able to have a little bit of a break. Yeah. It means I've got to like have dinner prepared a whole lot earlier than I'm used to. Like in the summer, I've got dinner ready at like 9:30 and we eat that late.
Yeah.
But it's now going to be like 7 o'clock when they're home. Like I'm like barely done with clients.
Yeah,
so
just barely.
And some nights not at all.
Yeah.
So it's going to have to wait.
Thursday he knows.
Yeah, Thursday he knows. But I still got stew ready.
Yeah. Hopefully it's good.
Oh, I know why it's quiet. I think they're playing a board game. I'm like, usually I can hear the TV. They must be playing a board game. That makes sense. Then they're in the dining room.
Oh.
Maybe this weekend we'll be able to play board games.
What's your favorite board game?
Oh my goodness, that is a really hard question, and it entirely depends on the day. There's some that I really like because I do well. Does that count?
Yeah, those totally count.
I really like playing a game called Castles of Burgundy because I've really figured out a lot of techniques that, so I win just about every time. So that makes me happy.
Is it technique or is she cheating? I'm playing.
It's impossible to cheat in that game.
Like Neil Campbell, she's cheating.
No red lines. No, it's just, I figured it out, you know? And now that I figured it out, most of the time I win. So I like that one.
Yeah.
And there's one called Wingspan. That one I definitely have not figured out. As far as like, it is not an easy game to play against people who are extremely skilled. You can play that one like on your iPad against other people. Okay. And I don't know how obsessed these people are with playing it. But they will do stuff and like the end of the game comes and I'm like, how did you get that many, like, how did you get that many points? I don't even know. Right. They know all the tricks of all the things. And I'm like, I am like a baby player when it comes to y'all. I'm not any good compared to that. But, you know, there's some games I'm really good at.
They probably have a whole headset and stuff.
I don't know. Well, it's not a tricky, difficult game. Like you're literally like, you're picking birds and you're building birds into their habitat and you're either getting, like, you have to have food to feed the birds, to make the birds, and you have to have eggs. So you have to build your first few birds and then your birds have to lay eggs so then you can build more birds. And so it's not like a difficult concept, but there's certain cards that have certain powers and you have to know, like, through experience or whatever, like if that card comes up, you need to play it like this.
Oh.
You know, and if you do, then you can get all these extra points at the end of the game. Well, I don't know all those secrets. And so I just sit back at the end of the game thinking I did all right. And these people are like, oh, they beat me by like 20 points. Right. So, you know, it's kind of addicting because you're like, I'll do better next time. I'll try again and play someone else and do way better. And then I still lose. So it's a lot of a learning experience on that one. And I just haven't mastered that one yet for sure. So there's a lot of room to grow. But and I don't think I necessarily beat Jared every time. So with him and I, like, we're pretty even. But I think the last time we played it, last weekend, he beat me by 1 point. Out of like 80.
Getting better than if it's just 1 point.
It's so rough. I'm like, and like an egg on a bird counts as a point.
Oh.
Right. So all I had to have was one extra egg. So it's something like that small where you're spending, you know, 2 hours building this thing of birds. And in the end, it could be one egg that makes you lose. It's like, dang.
Yeah, that's devastating.
Yeah. It's a tough one.
Sorry if I say your name wrong, but I think it's Tanya or Tania. She said, I think it has been awesome how you have shared this home building process, all the struggle and the joy.
Aw, I'm so glad.
Very happy for you. It's all worked out.
Keep that in. I mean, it hasn't all worked out yet. We're still building. But today they did lots of floor joists. So the picture from yesterday and the picture from today is very exciting because you see progress. Sometimes the progress, you don't see it forever.
It has been a long time.
It's 5 years. We're in 5 years of doing this. It's a long time.
COVID's fault.
I don't know. Well, COVID. So here's what happened with COVID. Is that COVID made wood prices so high that we started trying to figure out another way to build. And then we decided to do ICF. So what COVID did was make it all longer because we ended up switching materials, which in the end, like, it'll be better because it'll be more energy efficient, it'll be warmer all the time. Like, there's great benefits to it, but that whole process added a lot of time.
So COVID has pros and cons.
Pros and cons. It'll be good in the end. We'll be thankful we did it. Everyone is always thankful when they do it, but I don't know. So I'm just checking the side to make sure that none of my top coat came down on the sides in the way anywhere?
And Connie had said, appreciate everything you do for all us nail techs around the world. No matter what, I love and appreciate camp.
Aw.
Agreed.
So sweet,
fun.
Connie. I think she's always like such a great like attitude, so sweet to everyone. Like I can count on, you know, her to be so kind to anyone who's new. How's your white sweatshirt? She got the one and only white sweatshirt. I was testing this new sweatshirt and I decided that it was maybe a little bit too pricey to make a bunch of them. So I literally had only one and I was like, I'm going to keep it. But then it was just too big on me. And I already had like 2 other ones. So I was like, all right, I will give it up for one person who really wants it. And Connie got it. And it's so pretty and it's so nice. So I hope she likes it. Nail camp sweatshirts. I wore my beanie the other day.
Yeah, I saw that.
Did you? Oh yeah, because I took a picture. It's my current profile picture because I thought I was so cute.
Yep, I liked it.
I was like, I like a cute beanie. I tell Larissa to wear it and she looked cute. She goes, I don't know, I just feel like I look so funny in it. I'm like, you look darling.
Yeah.
Everyone looks darling in beanies. I don't think anyone looks weird in a beanie. So she was very cute.
Is she here?
She went to go plan and do a Halloween party at a friend's house.
You're right, she's driving. I didn't see this love bug.
She is driving.
Oh
I know. A little baby. So we don't really have the house for doing parties here. Someday we will, but right now we do not. And so her friend offered to host, and so she did all the food and the decorations and like, so she did her schooling this morning, and then they went to her friend Sydney's house and decorated. She sent me some pictures. It was very cute. She did a very good job.
That's good.
I helped make a jack-o'-lantern Rice Krispie treat yesterday, a giant one. And then she did these like red jello cups with like swimming sharks in them. So that was pretty cute. But it was good. So remember that at the beginning I didn't do her cuticles on a fill. I will, but because we had a full set and I was going to be doing so much filing, I didn't want to thin them out so much and risk you know, nicking it with my file and causing any bleeding or anything. So that is why I do them at the end, a full set often. And then one last dust and then drop the oil. So I like to use the Cuccio oil. There's a dropper so I can really like add a ton. And then we will rub it all into her skin so she looks not so dry anymore. I'm hoping to start doing some like non-product specific classes at trade shows. So when I was a brand new nail tech, there was a educator who taught at the shows, and she would put just tape on the jars so you didn't know what it was, and then teach how to sculpt and stuff. And I thought it was super helpful. Yeah. And so I want to do classes like that. There's not a lot of classes at trade shows, so I have to work on how to figure that out and do that. But that's my goal next, is to I love going to trade shows and doing trade shows, and so I'd like to start doing classes at them. Yeah, so we'll see. I'm not quite sure how to make that happen, but I'll try.
It'll happen.
We'll see. See if I can make it happen. Alrighty, guys. So here's her cute little cow Frenchies. Can you see them? Am I holding them in a good spot? I lost my... There they are. So, new extensions, and of course, underneath, she's got the Louis, which we should clean out for her now that the dust is done.
Sophisticated on top, party on bottom.
Yeah. She'll go scrub her nails, and that way she'll be able to get all the dust out, and these will be shiny. You saw them when they were, before we filed, you saw that they were perfect and smooth and shiny. But then she's got fun little cows. So hopefully you guys learned a trick or two, and we will catch you next time.